Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Elisa Sklar. I am the VP of Marketing with GIS Planning, and I'm delighted to be here today with my colleague, Stevie Field Chavez. Hello, Stevie.
Hi, Elisa. Good morning.
So we are very happy to have all of you, and we really appreciate all of you taking time out of your busy days. What our goal is today is to give you a tour of the all-new Georgia Zoom Prospector tool and to show you the new features and functionality. We think it's super intuitive. It's easier than ever to use. We want visitors to this site, potential investors, businesses looking for location options, site selectors, to find all the data they need as quickly as possible to be able to save it and to be able to share it as needed so that they can make the decisions and choose the best location in the state of Georgia for any investment they have in mind. In terms of what we're showing you with the new Zoom Prospector tool, GIS Planning has been around now for going on 21 years. We are consistently the innovators in this field. We consistently raise the bar on what should be offered when it comes to online GIS site selection tool. We're very proud of our history as innovators, and this is the reason that we are far and away the industry leaders when it comes to online site selection, corporate site selection data tools. What you will see in the new Georgia Site Selector tool is an intuitive, mobile, responsive design. You'll notice that we're now using a split screen map and property display for enhanced readability analysis. This is the kind of side-by-side map and results that you'll see on Airbnb, on Zillow, so it's really very familiar, and it's what your website visitors will be expecting. The map is still expandable, so that way you can go in if people really want to spend more time using the map section, that's possible to do. It is possible now to dynamically sort data within reports. We are making data as analyzable and dynamic as possible for your website visitors. And you'll see what that looks like. Stevie's going to show that to you. There is a dynamic use of a radius tool. You can literally drag it, make it bigger or smaller on the screen, and you'll notice that the data updates on the fly automatically. We have a free draw tool, so if you want to select the intersection of two interstates or a bit of coastline or an area around a lake or a river, those kind of more custom areas that wouldn't necessarily fall into easy selection if you're just looking radius or pinpoint, you can do that now. Our heat maps are updated. You'll see how beautiful they are and how readable. It is now possible to save properties into your own multiple project files. It's so useful internally if you've got many projects that you're working on. It's also useful for website visitors who may be looking at the Georgia site selection tool for various projects or have different categories of businesses, and you could search sites and buildings together as well as separately if you choose to do so. So that's basically a quick look at what you're going to see here, and I am going to pass this over to Stevie and make her the presenter, and she will be able to give you a tour of what you're going to see in the tool itself.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Elisa. Can you see my screen?
I can, yes.
Okay, very, very good. All right, so we're going to go through this pretty quick because we have very limited time here this morning or this afternoon. I'm in California right now, so I keep saying good morning. I apologize. So Elisa is recording this, so we will have this available for your review, and of course we have contact information at the end. Should you have any questions and your question not be answered, feel free to email us, and we can email you a link of today's webinar as well. So a couple of things you're going to notice right off the bat is its new look. We have the map here on the side of the screen, as well as your list of properties on the other side of the screen. So I can scroll down and look at properties just like I could before and see where these properties are located on my map by simply clicking around the various icons. But let's see what our search functions look like. So I'm able to search by city, by county, throughout the entire state, or by region. So I can, start adding a letter here, and I'm going to get a drop down just based on the numbers and the letters that I've entered. I can also search by buildings or by sites both, or one or the other. you can see that the default for this application is the sites button, so that will be, the grad sites will be populated at first entry, but I can always change that to add buildings. I also have the ability to search by square feet or by acres. You'll see these little tabs throughout the application, and so that allows you to actually switch a function, and we'll kind of touch more into that in a little bit. For sale or for lease, we have for vacant land as we're searching for properties, and then more filters allows you to enter by address, lease rate, sales rate, ceiling height, and various keywords. And keywords is important because if you're searching for, let's say, an opportunity zone property, that is a way where you can enter this and you can filter out anything that's not in an opportunity zone. We also have various assets here on the side just to help you hone in on your search options. So one of the new features that we have is the ability to filter an area by free draw. So I can actually draw a space on the map using my free draw tool and only search this highlighted area here for available sites and buildings. So I can apply that to my search and it will filter out anything that's not located in that area. And you can see the area that populates here, and these are our user results. So one of the things Elisa touched on is the ability to save properties into a folder. And you can see I've already got a couple of folders here established. So I can select the folder that I want to save these properties to. I can custom create my own folders. I can have as many folders as I'd like. There's no limit. And the fun thing about these folders, let me save just another property just to make sure I've got some nice little results here. They're going into my folder. I can view my saved results at any time. So we're going into our saved results. This is Project Peach. Now, I know of a site project that I'm working on, and I want to be able to email all of these folders to that site project, the site project manager. And so I can actually share by using my share button, enter in the email address and my email address right here. I can share this folder, and all three of these properties are going to go to that recipient of the email. I can also copy our link and embed this in social media. I can embed this in an electronic newsletter or directly in an email. I always recommend renaming the link so that it doesn't have just all the little letters and code in there, that it actually will say, you know, check out these buildings or sites for Project Peach. Once the user clicks in, they're going to go directly into this page in the site, and it's live. So they're able to view the property details and all of the information surrounding these particular properties that you've identified as being a really great fit for their project. So I'm going to minimize this little box up here, and I apologize for that little. Okay, so some of the information, as you can see, is still the same. We have our demographics, labor force, and consumer expenditure information, and we'll touch on those here in just a moment, but we've also made it easier to get to certain pieces of information. For instance, community information. I can go to the city and the county profile information at any time, so we made those links very accessible so they stand out, so the user can get to the community, what we call intelligence component, by simply one click. You can see we have all of the information about this particular site of interest, all the way down to utility, contact information. Here's a website link for the community, which I think is amazing. I think that's a really great idea. And of course, contact information for the state, should you have any questions on the particular site. So let's take a look at some of the supporting information. We have our demographics, labor force, and consumer expenditures. This information is provided by Applied Geographic Solutions, or AGS, and it is updated 2 times annually. So we really try and capture the changes going on in communities by updating this data. We can modify this distance from 0 to 60 minutes and 0 to 60 miles from our point of interest. So I can simply enter in a 9, and my distance is automatically going to change, as is my numbers. We've also made the heat maps easier to find, so you can simply click my little button here, and it's going to populate with our thematic mapping, or otherwise known as heat maps, which make it just really easy for your user. I can also hone in. All of our maps are interactive and very quick to respond. I'm on a hotspot right now from my phone, so there's a tiny little bit of a delay, but I encourage you to get on the site and play around, and you'll be able to see how quickly these respond. We have our 2019 as well as our projected 2024 data, so that information, you can see again how fast that data changes. Age distribution, gender, ethnicity breakdown, total households, etc. And this information is updated again 2 times annually. Typically this is in May and late October of each year. Our labor force information and our consumer expenditures looks very similar. It just has different data: establishments by size, total establishments, business establishments by type, etc. No surprise, a lot of our establishments by size are our small businesses. That number never surprises us. But we do have, as in the other report, another way to look at data. Everybody absorbs data differently. So this is what we call our report form. We showed you the heat signature, but you also have the ability to look at it in a graph form. So this just takes the same information and breaks it out into another way of just absorbing and looking at data. Our consumer expenditures, again, has a very same format for our report. So we have consistency across the information that we're providing. We're just providing a different type of data. Our wage and salary information is brought to you by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. It is updated 1 time a year, so annually. It breaks out our mean and median and hourly wages, as well as our mean and median annual wages. Here we have broken out by occupation, and we have a list of our different occupations, as well as what the mean and median annual wages are. And again, we have the ability to look at this in a heat signature. Our business data is one of my favorite reports. I love that it has so much detail to it. This is not only great for businesses who are looking to expand or relocate to your community, but the businesses who are already in your community. Help them find various businesses that are made up like theirs, suppliers, competitors. It really does map out those businesses. The business data is brought to you by Info USA, or otherwise known as Info Group, and it's updated 4 times annually. Here we have our number of employees, so I can search by number of employees, annual revenue, NAICS codes, and various clusters. Various clusters are actually clusters that the state has created, so I can click any one of these boxes and actually get the businesses that make up of these individual clusters. And for those of you who are clients of ours, you have the ability to add this as well on your site, so just let us know if you want this box added. Here is a breakdown of these businesses, so I can see how many banking, finance, and insurance companies we have. I can click on this industry and they will map them for me. This information goes out 0 to 60 miles from our site of interest, so you can really get into the research of the different business points of industry. So I always like the professional category, typically that has some really good results. And we can just continue to hone in our search until we've identified the particular companies. I can also click on any one of these little dots here, and it will show me the name of that company. Each one of these dots signify a different industry. This information is updated 4 times annually. We update this quarterly, so we're really trying to capture the change happening with businesses coming and going in different communities. Our talent data is actually breaking up where our community is going to school or learning institutions. So, and what actually our number of graduates and programs that our graduates are graduating in. So this is, as you see, showing our top 5 programs. Here's our business management, engineering, health and professional, and kind of our breakdown by numbers and grads. Here's our top universities, And then below we have a breakdown of the actual field of study, graduates, and then by degree. One of the questions that we're typically asked here is, do we have certificate programs such as welding and technical schools? Yes, we have this information. I'm hoping it's coming very soon because we understand, especially in the Southeast, how important that data is. So I'm hoping that's one of the new improvements coming soon. I can click on any one of these learning institutions here. It's going to show me on the map the name of that learning institution, where it's located. And again, this is a breakdown of our learning institutions, and I can see where my field of study is. So I can see I've got some good bachelor's degrees and master's degree in architecture. So I'm going to click architecture with my mouse, and it's going to show me the actual learning institution, which is Georgia Tech, the main campus. This information goes 0 to 90 miles, 90 miles from my site of interest. All right, Elisa, do we have any questions so far?
We do have a question about the source of data for consumer expenditures information.
Sure, that's Applied Geographic Solutions. They're in Thousand Oaks, California. Consumer expenditures, labor force, and demographic information is updated 2 times annually. So we really try and capture the change happening in community. It is ZIP +4 data. So we're really getting into that block group data. And so we've chosen Applied Geographic Solutions and have worked with them for years now. So we've been very pleased with the data that we get from them. Okay, any other questions so far?
For the moment, no. But just to remind people that if they do have any questions, there is a questions panel in the GoToWebinar control widget on the right-hand side of their screen.
Very good, thank you. So we had touched on earlier the city profile and the county profile. This is otherwise known as an intelligence component. So this is going to be a breakdown. It looks like I've chosen it on one of our smaller communities, but this is a breakdown of all of the information that we have on your community, kind of in an aggregate report. So here I'm looking at my population, our gender profile, our age and how the ages has changed over the past years, educational attainment, colleges, universities, labor force, talent. You can see it's got some interactivity that is included in this report, but it really kind of goes into the overall information for a community and how that community is actually just all of the different community factors of the different tabs that we've looked at. So every one of your communities has one, so cities and counties, and I also believe we have these for regions. So that information is always available to you, so you can always search by Explore Communities to find this data. So let's kind of take a little peek at what that looks like. Here's our Explore Communities tab. Now we've made this actually in a few places in the website, so it's very easy to get to. We have it here at the top of Explore Communities. Of course, you can select a city or county or region when you first get to the site when you're looking for available properties. And it's also listed at the very bottom of the page, and this is on every page, when you're looking at your different communities. Here you have your city breakdown, your counties, and your regions served. Always feel free to click the See All if you don't see your name listed. They are listed in there. Every community is listed in there. And I can even search these communities for properties. So I can view the property card, or I can go directly into the Find Properties for that particular community. All right, another thing that we have here, and always feel free to click some of these buttons, because again, it really is about, it's a very intuitive tool. It's much more responsive than the classic program, which we still are using. We have many clients who still are staying on the classic program, but this one has some of those additional features that we've shown you, as well as the new look. But we also have a tremendous amount of map layers. So some of the new ones include, we have our flood zones and our wetland information. So you can see kind of where our wetlands are, and then a breakdown of that by, you can see on our legend here off to the side where that would be our opportunity zones. Both the state opportunity zones and federal opportunity zones can be seen here on the map. So always feel free. I know many of you have opportunity zones in your community, so you have the ability to search properties based on opportunity zones, or at least and can highlight those. So I know that's a really big deal happening in the economic development industry at this time. Elisa, is there anything that you can see that I'm missing?
No, I just want to maybe take a moment to address in terms of marketing, because of course, as a marketer, I work individually with all of our clients to make sure that they're using the tool to their full capacity to help them understand how it can help them up their place marketing game. So as Stevie's been showing you, one of the things that we love most about this new version is that you can generate any custom research around a property, create a heat map, for example, and then as Stevie's showing you, go over to share. You can share directly from there via email or on your social media, of course, but you can also copy the share link. And that's useful if you're doing a response to an RFP and you would want to draw people's attention to something. It's great in an email, in a PowerPoint deck, in a proposal, because it lets you, first of all, draw people back to your website, which is really what you want to do. You don't want to be giving them static PDFs. Static PDFs are so old school, and they don't ultimately let your prospective investor go in and answer the questions that they have. And you can't always predict what those questions are. So you can create these beautiful custom reports. You can give them the link. You invite them back to the website, which is where you want them to be. And then you let them go in and do the additional research or analysis, drill down into the data, use the different map tools, use the dynamic data to be able to answer those questions. And for those of you who are working in marketing, this tool is an inexhaustible source of content. You will never again have to say, what am I putting on our LinkedIn feed today? What do we want to tweet? Because you can be posting heat maps, you can be looking at consumer expenditures, you can talk about education attainment, you can do a property of the week, you could use sections from the beautiful community profile infographics that you can generate. So there just is, it's so rich, and as Stevie's showing you, you can generate these lovely charts, and it's so easy to share them that it really makes it possible to have a very dynamic marketing, kind of uptick in your marketing. If you're using and doing an electronic newsletter, a lot of times people are looking for ways to create content. So anytime you're sending out an email newsletter, the goal ultimately is to draw people back to your website. So creating a link to a property of the week that you're featuring, or a featured site, and then put the link in there so they can click on it and go back there. Create a beautiful heat map and then put the link in so people can come back and see it. That's the kind of thing that really will make a difference ultimately. And now that you have access to this tool, you should be thinking about all the different ways you can take advantage of it for your community.
Very good, all important notes. Do we have any questions?
We don't have any other questions. I invite you to put in anything in the GoToWebinar control panel on the right-hand side of the screen. You'll see that there is a questions field. If there is anything else that you want to put in there, please let us know. We actually do have another question. Yes, we will be able to share this webinar via video. We have been video recording it, and tomorrow in your inboxes you will have a link to the video so you can review at your convenience, and you can share it with anyone else on your team, any other staff. You will have it for your use. Absolutely. Now
we do have another one planned on Thursday as well. So if you like what you've seen and you want to get one of your other staff members to join us, or if you want to see this again, we do have another one set for Thursday at
11 a.m.
11 a.m. on Thursday. So if you're interested in attending that, you can also contact us and we can send you that information.
Yes, we actually just did get another question about how do you get the sites loaded in? Do each of the respective communities have to send them in?
I know for properties, it is grad sites only. For the actual industrial buildings, there's probably set some requirements on those. I really actually don't know the answer to that question. Sometimes the states will allow the communities to enter in the properties, and we can also feed from many of our clients. We can also feed any of these properties over, and I believe that's how the state has that set up, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I will get your information from Elisa when this webinar is over and confirm this answer so that you're aware of how that.
Yeah, and Dana, if you want to, I know that you're attending as a participant, but if you want to unmute yourself and add something in here, I can help you unmute yourself if you'd like me to. Oh, I'll unmute you. Okay, hold on just one second. Let me see if I can. Okay. Hi, Dana. Let's see if we can hear you.
Hi, yes. Hi, Alyssa. Hi, Stevie. Thank you for doing this, and thank you to everyone who has joined us. To answer the question, Stevie was right. The only sites we have on our website are our certified grad sites. Lindsay Martin's now our lead at the department, so you can reach out to Lindsay Martin if you have any questions about your grad site or a site you have becoming a grad site. In terms of other available sites in your properties, our 3 utility partners all provide that on their respective websites, so you can contact them regarding getting your available sites on their websites. But with regards to buildings, yes, we publish available buildings that are industrial or office of 10,000 square feet or more. And so there's some cleanup of the data we're currently working on, some things that don't meet those metrics that we need to remove. But in the meantime, if it looks like the buildings for your community do not represent all the buildings that you know that you have, please reach out to Sajni Patel here at the department. She's our website administrator, and she can help get you login credentials and give you the link to editing your building information on the back end. And I encourage you to, for those who are in communities that have brokers representing available buildings, I encourage you to let them know that they are able to get their own login credentials to update buildings as well. So I had Sajni's contact information in the email I sent out, and you can just reach out to me if you need to get in touch with myself or her.
Thank you so much, Dana. That's very, very helpful. Dana, you obviously everyone knows how to be able to reach you and Sajni, so we are really pleased to be able to be working alongside you on this one. I think this brings us to the end of our questions. Dana or Stevie, is there anything else that you guys would like to add?
No, just appreciate y'all doing this webinar and appreciate everyone who participated, and get in touch with us if there's any questions you have from the department.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Stevie, I'm just going to take this back for a moment just to show the contact information so that people can see that. And so let's see if we can move this over here. So you've got Stevie's contact information on here and mine as well if you are interested in seeing how to use it for your marketing. Stevie will be able to answer all your questions about the site itself and about local additions and different kinds of additions as well. So I want to thank you all very, very much for your time, and thank you to Dana and her team for this fantastic initiative and for working alongside us on that. And we look forward to connecting with you offline as well. Have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you.